There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with dashed lines. You can create maps, like a pirate map going to a treasure. You can do decorations on things like stars, and you can even create stitching. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to use the dashed line. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, let's think here, I'll grab an arc tool, and I'm going to just draw out an arc like so. All right, now I'm going to move it up a little bit. Let's make believe we're doing a pirate map. So I'll go ahead and even put an X right here. All right, so I'll just type an X and I'll enlarge that. So we're going to head towards the X. And with our line selected, we're going to click right here on stroke. This opens up the stroke panel. And you see we have this option called dashed line. Once we enable this, we see the dashed line awaken. And we have something called a dash, gap, and so on. We also have the legacy, or the old way that Illustrator used to handle dashes, and the new way. And we'll talk about these in just a moment. Now, something that I want to make clear and put some of your minds at ease, you don't have to fill all of these in. Just two, unless you really want to vary it. So we can say that we want our dash, as you can see here, to have 12 points of distance in between. Let me go ahead and just show you this here. And I'll click on the line again. And we also have a gap, the space in between these lines. So I'm going to take this number, I'll make it a 6, and I'll make the space, let's make this a 10. All right, I'll hit the tab key. Then I'll click right here to show you that we have a new dash line. And it leads to our X here. So that's just one example of how you can use dash. Now let's talk about another. This time I'm going to actually create a star. All right, and I'm going to put a dash line on this. Now, since I already created a dash line, Illustrator remembers that and adds it to my new object. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to zoom in right here to really focus on this area. Now, this is not a very pretty dash. So what we can do, and don't forget, this is a part of the beautiful strokes thing. So everything that we have to do from now on is beautiful. I'll click on stroke, and as you can see, this is the old way. And what happens here, as you can see, Illustrator tries to preserve the exact dash and gap lengths that we specify, 6 and 10, without changing it to make the corners look good. But the new version of Illustrator, when you click on it, will try to give you a beautiful cap at the corners here. So you have a more pleasant looking star. And if I go over here, we see the same thing happens here as well. So I'm going to go back to stroke. And once again, it's very simple. You can turn off the dash line at any time, click on it. You can change the distance in between the dashes and just experiment. I can make this 10, hit the tab key, and now we have 10 and 10 in between. This line is the same as this. Or I can put 2 here, hit tab, and now we have 2 in between here. And don't forget, when you want to have a nice cap, then make sure you use the new feature in Illustrator. Or if you go back to the old-fashioned way, you'll have a not so beautiful stroke on your star.